Welcome everybody to the channel Dad's Night to Cook. I'm your professionally amateur, always tasty, non-time committing, home cooking dad, Chef Manny. Letting you there all know when it's your night to cook. You do not have to pick up a phone and order Uber Eats, whatever kind of ordering service you use. Because go and check your pantry and your refrigerator because a home cooked meal is only that away from your kids screaming Dad's Night to Cook. Okay? So tonight, here's what we're going to do. We're going to have a bit of soul food night. I know I haven't done soul food yet, but I know my teacher was a great soul food teacher, cook, who I learned from. Now, tonight, we're going to have short ribs, baby back ribs, baby back. We're going to have fried fish, a fish fry. Okay, on this Friday afternoon, a fish fry, y'all. We're going to have that with some grits. We're going to have mac and cheese. We're going to have greens. We're going to have cornbread. We're going to have sweet carrots. Y'all, and for dessert, I'm going to make homemade giant toffee chocolate chip cookies to make ice cream sandwiches. Come on. That menu, y'all, that menu. So let's start first with the ribs, because I want my ribs to cook. I'm not going to put them on the grill. I'm going to bake them in the oven like my teacher taught me how to do it. Okay? Now, my teacher, Rim, he was an excellent barbecuer. And let me tell you a story about Rim. All right? You hear the name? Rim? I studied with Rim because he was the line cook and he was the barbecuer at one of the restaurants that I kind of interned at. And for all this time, I was calling him Rim, stuff, whatever. And I thought it was kind of interesting that every time I would say his name, he never called me by my name. And I was like, I'm thinking, oh, Rim, but what is there I heard everyone else saying Rim, but they always used to call him by his full name, which I thought was his full name. So I was like, oh, would you prefer me to call you by your full name, Rim? He goes, no, just call me by my first name. And I was like, isn't your last name Ender? I hear everyone say Rim Ender. He's like, nah, man, that's my first name. When I saw it written down, y'all, his name was Rim Ender. R-E-M. What I thought was last name, I-N-D, y'all. Reminder. I said, Rim, why your mama named you Reminder? I don't know, dog. She just did. Parents, please take care and notice when you name your child. Reminder? Reminder? What the? Well, I should talk. I have my own personal story about names. My parents didn't give us any middle names. All of our kids, they named all their children beginning with E. All of us, E. But no middle name. Until one day I looked at my report card. I wasn't very bright at the time. And I looked at the report card and I saw first name Emmanuel, middle name No Name, and last name Cadet. So I ran home. I was like, ooh, I told my brothers and sisters, I got a middle name. Like, what's your middle name? I said, No Name, Nah. So there, I got a middle name. My sisters looked at that. They were bright. My sisters were very smart. They was like, choice. I'm sure they had choice word names for me. But the one I remember was like, you baboon. That is not your middle name. That says N-O-N-E. None. It don't mean no name. It's none. So I thought my name was No Name. It was none. Yuck. But parents, please take care when you name your children. Please take care and think it out. Name them thoughtfully. Okay? Let's get started on these ribs.
Dad's night to cook. It is Dad's night to cook. From the pantry he'll take a look from a book to see what we'll dine on tonight. What you gonna cook, Dad? What we gonna eat? His recipe's great, it is a must. When he cooks, he makes believe and trust, and a wonderful meal on the table. Yummy for our tummy. It is Dad's night to cook.
Okay, y'all, so what we're going to have to do before we start is we're going to have to season our ribs. Now, just before this segment started, this portion started, I listed what I have in my mise en place. I already made my mise en place so we can go ahead and season these baby back ribs. Now, the recipe calls for an amount for 1 rack of ribs. I'm going to do 3 rack of ribs. So all you have to do is whatever the recipe called for, you add one of those portions per rack you have. So if it's 1 tablespoon, it's going to be 2 tablespoons, or 3 if you have, well, how many racks of ribs? Today, I have 3 racks of ribs. I know them children, they be eating, Lord Jesus, so I had to have 3 racks of ribs. But anyway, I got my mise en place ready, and what we're going to do is we're going to season this rack of rib, and we're going to get it slow cooking in the oven. So here we are ready to season our rack of ribs. Like I said, I have 3, so I'm going to season the underside of the ribs. So there's 2 sides. It's the meat side right there, and I pat it dry so I can hold on to my seasoning, and that's the underside, the rib side. But I season both sides of my ribs because y'all always hear me say meat likes to be seasoned. It likes seasoning, it likes it, it wants it, it begs for it. I do all sides of my ribs. The underside, the side, the ribby, bony part, and of course the meat side, the heavy meat side. And I'm gonna rub this thing in. You saw what we have as far as our mise en place. And it don't take long to get your meat all seasoned up. Pat that thing in there. Let it have it. That's what Rim used to say. He said, let it have it. And I know y'all, some of y'all think, boy, he be so loud sometimes. But busy good kitchens are loud. Folk gotta scream and shout to get the order that they want taken care of and all of that. So here we are with our 1 rack. So we're going to slow cook this rack of ribs at a 350, and I'm going to put a piece of foil over it, like a tent of foil over this rack of ribs, and we're going to cook it slow because I want it in the oven at 350 for at least 3.5 hours, so it can just fall off the bone when it's time to eat it. Okay. All right, here we go, ready to put our ribs in the oven. Like I said, I'm having 3, so I got 2 in and another one. So I'm gonna give a little tent over it and cook it for about 2 hours. And then when it's time to go, we'll put our barbecue sauce and let it cook for about an hour. Now that's the procedure that Rim taught me. Now that I think about it, Rim had a beautiful sister, and her name was Celine. That's all I heard. Celine. I bet I've never seen it spelled, but I bet you it was spelled Silent. I bet you that heifer name was silent.
Oh no.
Mama's in the name of your children. All right, I'm going to put this up in the oven. It's going to bake. We want it at 350 with the tent for about 2 hours, and then uncovered for about an hour, adding some barbecue sauce halfway through, but we'll show you that whole process. Okay, come on. So we're just gonna dust these baby backs with some barbecue sauce, and then it's gonna be at several points where we're gonna do this. I lay in it about 3 times that I slather some barbecue sauce on it. I just brush it on. I don't do the underbelly side because it's well seasoned, so it's gonna be okay. And like I said, I do this in stages because I still want it to stay moist. And so I just brush it, and so it can get coated.
Dad's night to cook. It is Dad's night to cook. From the pantry he'll take a look book to see what we'll dine on tonight. What you gonna cook, Dad? What we gonna eat? His recipe's great, it is a must. When he cooks, he makes believe and trust, and a wonderful meal on the table. Yummy for our tummy. It is Dad's night to cook.